Right, in today's video, I'm going to explain every single move using checks, captures, threats, and the 9 basic imbalances. I'm going to start with d4. Queen's Gambit style. But they didn't play d5, so it's not Queen's Gambit. I think I'll just take the pawn and attack the knight. I don't know, the theory, obviously, I guess it's called the Budapest Gambit, so I probably shouldn't take it. I don't know, I just like the idea of attacking the knight, making it move. We can try to calculate a little bit here. So we get a tempo in the knight, get control of the center, but we'd have to like go here or something. It just might be hard to defend the pawn. I think we just push the pawn, and then push the knight after we push the pawn. It's a cool move I like to do, because sometimes we push the pawn, you can't push the knight, develop the knight there anymore, you know. But after the pawn will hit here, we can defend it twice here. Shouldn't be very hard to defend, right? Let's go. Let's just do it. There's like an easy refutation, so I could just learn if I really wanted to. Okay, so they defend this pawn, but what if I just defend it? Like if they sacrifice a knight, I'm happy with that. I can castle by hand. Right, if they go here, maybe like a strong player would do that, because it makes my king vulnerable. But I'll just develop my pieces, get my rook out, and then put my king in the corner. Or maybe even put my king in the center. Well, the pawns are kind of leave the middle pretty open. Sometimes I don't even castle at all if my pieces can protect my king. I guess he didn't expect me to protect the pawn because he's thinking for a while. It's funny, username picture's got their profile picture. What is that? Is that Portugal? Yeah. So what should I do next? I mean, what is he gonna do? He can't go there because the pawn will take, so he's gonna be forced to go here. It's an odd move, so I guess it's part of the attack. But I usually just develop my bishop. And then if he takes with bishop, I take with knight most of the time. And then you can always develop your queen later. I just want like the flexibility. So we have to defend that. I'm imagining they're gonna go here next, attack this square, but I could just push my pawn, right? Yeah. It's defended by the bishop, but then you have 2 attackers. I'd only have 1 defender. How else can I block? I mean, what? No, black takes white take. Bishop here, pawn here, bishop takes, knight takes, forking the queen and bishop. Oh, that's so annoying, actually. I don't know why he's taking so long to... What would I do? I obviously cannot allow the bishop to go there. That's checkmate. Oh, I could play here. I think that's like probably the only move. Because then this knight here defends this square as well. Oh, wait. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's good. Because then if bishop goes there, knight takes, and the knight takes if they wanted to lower my king out. But they're losing a piece there. Oh, they just do the fork immediately. Nice. Because I can't take the knight because the pin, so I'm going to have to move my king, but it's okay. I'll just castle by hand. I'm not afraid of that. And if they take the knight, I might just take their bishop, right? So which one of these 2 squares is better? I mean, this one might be good because it's on the same diagonal as the king. Prevents them from pushing the pawn forward. But this one, double attacks, but they're obviously just going to move this knight and prevent me from castling. And it's also blocked by this pawn here in this diagonal, so I think this is good. I'm not even... Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think there's nothing I can really do because I'm getting forked. And I can't take because this bishop pin. So let's just move the king here, take the bishop. So those are kind of the imbalances, like the piece activity. Here it has more activity, sort of. And here it doesn't have as much activity because this pawn here. Oh no. Okay, well now they should help me develop my knight. I was scared for a second because I did not expect that. But we're still just trading pieces, so if he goes here, that's completely fine. I might honestly just castle and not even take. No, but then he could escape to here. So yeah, this actually would have been a better move if I would have thought ahead. Move my queen here instead of here, because then I could castle, and I wouldn't have to take the piece with my king, because my queen would be defending this escape square. Oh, what the heck? Great. I don't want to waste tempo, but I might have to do that. There's no other way I can defend this except by moving this knight. Then my rook defends the bishop. I'm loving this position now. What is this guy doing? Look how ahead I am in development. Two, or no, I guess just one move ahead in development. Or no, the queens as well. So 2 moves ahead in development, I guess. That's because he had to move his knight and bishop so much. Like, your knight should not be on this side of the board. You're not supposed to move your piece more than once in the opening. You're supposed to wait for a weakness to appear in your opponent's camp before you launch an attack and develop all your pieces. They obviously didn't know that. Interesting. Looks like they're probably going to try to go bishop here. I guess I have to go here and attack the knight, because then I can't castle until the knight moves. And I will enjoy this move a lot because it's opposite side castling. So I'll have the opportunity to launch a pawn storm and attack my opponent. So again, here, here, here. Which one's better? Or just take the pawn too first? That kind of opens up this file, but I don't really have a choice if they take. That's kind of a wasted tempo. So I think if I have to attack the knight, it immediately threatens something. Okay. Well, this diagonal doesn't do much. This diagonal could be come in handy if I push that pawn forward in the future, right? So thinking ahead, I think the square. I think this is better than this. So I'll go here, attack this knight. It's a forcing move. So checks, captures, threats. That's the hierarchy of importance in the forcing moves. In general, attacking the queen is always a very powerful forcing move. So sometimes the threats are better than captures, and hence the principle that goes by the threat is better than the execution. Okay, did move the knight. Amateurs like me a couple days ago would just attack the knight with the pawn. But I think I'm going to castle. Well, actually, in this position, since I'm already planning on castling alongside, and this pawn move isn't going to hurt my king or anything, and it's actually going to help me with my attack. On the king side, I was planning already. So yeah, I think if I go here, I'm forcing the knight to go here, or here, but that's just a goofy move if they go here. And I guess I could push again, defended by this pawn, the queen can't take, but then the knight would just go right back to where it is. But then I'd be able to develop my bishop here. Make sure there's no checks. I don't want to lose my bishop. I think that works, yeah. We're going to go here. If there, then there. And then there. And if knight goes here to e7 after we play g4, then we're so happy because we made the knight undevelop, and we've got a big lead in development. There's absolutely no way we're losing this if we use our time carefully. Blunder check, no checks or anything. I think this is perfectly fine. Oh, except the thing is, the pawn will be hanging. So I will kind of be forced to push it next move. That's how I could go here, then no, yeah, I think I have to. I don't want to play here because I'm planning on playing here and launching an attack. Oh wait, okay, so yeah, I miscalculated that this actually isn't a square that my knight controls because the queen also sees that square. But now I can continue with castling because if they take my knight, I take back with my knight, get it further developed towards my opponent's half the board, towards their king, right? To take is a mistake, so neither of us should really be taking pieces like that. I don't really want to keep my king in the center. I could develop my rook on the same file as the queen, so castling seems reasonable. Oh wait, I just said that pawn is going to be hanging. Whoops. I don't know why I forgot about that. Just take your time. Okay, they didn't even do that. Now they did it. Oh, this is nice. They can't take this pawn because rook would take. What if I took and then they took, I played pawn here, I'd be able to take that pawn. Then I'm opening up things, from opening up the files for my opponent to attack my king, so I don't know about that. If they take here, I just double up my pawns, but I've got a more powerful attack brewing here. I've already lost a pawn, so I need to attempt to gain it back. It's the positional weakness of double pawns, but I just don't feel like I have the time. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I have time. I'm kind of up ahead in development, but I just don't like the bishop on the square too. Like honestly, if I just recapture the bishop with this pawn, then it opens up this diagonal for my bishop, and I can attack the king. So I think I'm gonna go with this. Very instructional lesson, or a little statement I made there, right? Because not all weaknesses are actually weak, like Silman says. It's double pawns, but it does help me develop us in a certain way. Okay, now I was going to go here, so I can't take, so I get to take. Wait a second. I was up a pawn apparently, so when they took that pawn, now it was then equal. And then this pawn's actually gonna kind of be a weakness after I take. So I'm expecting them to take back somehow, probably. Not expecting to win the pawn, most likely. We'll see. So I'm threatening rook takes, or just pawn takes. I think in general pawn takes is better. You want your rooks behind your pawns, and you want your pawns to become queens on the 8th rank, right? So I think that should be better. And even though the rook, in short term, it attacks the queen. Yeah, I think that's better though. And also, after I take, I can attack the bishop with a knight if they don't, or if they haven't taken my knight by then. Okay, well now I get to attack your queen with him. Oh wait, no. They did the reverse. They did the pin on me, on my king. My pawn can't take because the pin, but rook can still take though. But then they take the check, and that's actually a fork winning my rook. So do not take this pawn with the rook. So like I said, I expect to just lose that. Well, I didn't expect to lose. I expect to be a trade. Oh, great. Great. Well, I mean, I need to move this knight now, kind of, maybe. So then the bishop can't take, but that's not a really good square. I just immediately let them attack my knight with the pawn if I move my knight there, and then they can attack my queen with the pawn. So unfortunately, that's not very good. Knights on the rim are dim. This blocks my rook on this file. I could go here. I obviously can't go there because the pawn. So I could go here. And then, yeah, then I guess I could reroute the knight here if they attack it. And if they push a pawn forward, that again weakens the king. See that now that I actually placed my queen here, like I explained, I can't move this pawn to attack the knight. So they'd have to push this pawn. But then I can develop my bishop on that file. And I get my queen here or here. Get a battery and attack the king. So yeah, I think we'll go here and then here. And what am I expecting them to do? I think, I don't know, I guess queen takes maybe, but then I'll just move my king over. And I think piece activity is more important. I mean, I'm not going to lose this pawn no matter what, so I might as well continue with my plans. Yeah, check, okay. Now, do I want to try to trade queens? Wait a minute. If I went here, that'd be forcing a queen trade, because this is checkmate. That's interesting. It's very forcing, so I might have to play that. I mean, they could just defend, so it depends if they want to trade queens or not. It depends if I want to trade queens, because my king's going to be kind of exposed. Is that right? Like, so queen here, queen c2, queen captures c2, king captures c2. Rook c8 check, king b1. So I guess I gotta push this pawn, get my rook into the game. I got this knight here. I guess I'd push this pawn and try to go for that maybe. I don't know. I just feel like the queen, that's not a good position. My king has to move out and get attacked. I guess I could immediately. No, I can't. At first, I have to move the king. So do I want to move the king or do I want to play an interesting move with the queen? Well, they might not see it, but I can't play hope chess. I have to expect them to trade queens. Let's see. I mean, I got some decent moves. I guess I can live with that. Wait, oh no, I'm down a pawn though. You don't really want to go into an endgame. You don't want to trade pieces when you're losing or when you're down material. Yeah. I'm also threatening this move. So maybe it is best to just move the king over. If queen goes here, king moves over again. If they take this... Oh yeah, that's not good. Wait. They've got this check, and they can take this win this pawn. So king b1, queen f5 check. I know I could go rook here. And then if pawn takes and queen takes pawn, and I lose the knight, maybe. Might have to go that route, even though I really want to play this move to threaten checkmate. But since I have to show short term, it's just not really good idea and principle for me to play a move like that. I feel like just expect them to trade. Attack. B1. Okay, then what? Say they move the knight and develop it. Maybe attack the bishop. I don't know. Here. Then I have to go here. This bishop developed. I don't know if they're gonna attack my knight soon, maybe. I usually do like early queen trades and going into the end game in general, but it just doesn't look good. Check, king over. I mean, I guess I still have a lead in development in that position. I'm down a pawn though. But alternatively, if we go this line, oh wait, king. I can move the rook up, or I can move the king over. Say king over, but then that's back rank ideas. The bishop. No. Okay. Yeah. So king here, queen here. I don't know. Just say rook here. Queen takes. Then the pawn, the knight's hanging, and it's actually trapped. Good thing I calculated. Queen would take, bishop would take, bishop would take, pawn would take. That's not an option. Could have lost my knight and the pawn. I'm pretty sure. So it looks like this is almost forced, or this. Let me just make sure one more time. So, king here, queen here. King. This isn't check or anything. So I could, yeah, but yeah, I can't move the knight to any safe squares. No, I could. I can move the knight here on c3, but then bishop takes, pawn takes, queen defense. Okay. No, I think I do want to trade queens though, like I said, even though I'm down a pawn. I don't want my opponent to allow their queen to attack my king in such an open position here. So, spent 5 minutes on that move. That's like one of the first times I've actually spent time calculating future, like calculating lines and evaluating future positions like that. Because usually I just play off instincts using just principles, process of elimination. So I guess that's how you're supposed to play chess. I'm assuming this position is better than the other position, which will make this move better than the other one I was looking at. It's like I explained, trading queens is good, I think. Gotta try to make use of my lead in development, as I've said. If we trade queens that way, well, I mean, I don't know. I might be able to attack this pawn somehow. Got my rook attacking it, but they can easily add a defender. So. It'd be so funny if they didn't see this checkmate. It's not possible, because as a fellow 1200, I know we're not very good at chess. We still make a lot of mistakes. Like, the longer he thinks, the more I think he doesn't see the checkmate, because don't you just take my queen or push a pawn? Either one. If they for some reason were here, then I'll take this queen. I guess. Okay, they did take. Yeah. It took them a minute 50 seconds to see the checkmate or what? I don't know. I guess they just wanted to make sure they knew what was going on. I think it was the right call, because I don't want their queen attacking my king. It's basically what it came down to. Even though maybe the engine would say the other line was better, but I don't know why it would be. They seem basically the same, kind of. But just from a practical standpoint, as based off my abilities, I would think that just getting the queens off the board is good. And now I might consider moving my king towards the center, because I don't want to have my king trapped in the corner where his back rank threats all day. Especially, I don't know, kind of attack the bishop. They can go check first. Then what? Oh wait, yeah, okay, I don't know. That's not that bad yet, because the rook still defends. They could then attack me with the bishop if they wanted to. And then that prevents me from developing my pawn here. Right, no, the knight's there. Sweet. Yeah, so actually, they won't go here, actually, because I can just immediately go here instead of moving my king away. So, I'm just pushing the, neutralizing the piece that's on my half of the board. I think I might do it. There's no other thing I would do other than, like, move my king before they can check it for some reason, maybe? Or just immediately develop the pawn and develop the bishop. I think I'm going to do that on the next move. Or when I have the chance to. Because if they check me, I'll have to move, obviously. Seems like a pretty simple position. I've got a powerful knight here. It's not quite an outpost, but it is protected by a pawn, so it's decent position. I've got this move. I've got one of my rooks developed already. I could have just took this pawn immediately, couldn't I have? I'm gonna have to do that soon. It's just a question of, like, how important is developing your pieces versus taking material, because in general, I feel like developing your pieces is more important. And ultimately, piece activity is the most important thing in chess, after, like, king safety. Because king safety is number 1, but number 2 and 3 are material and piece activity. And, I don't know, in general, material is always going to be superior if you're playing at an engine level accuracy. But in real life, you know, like, piece activity usually, at least if you're a strong player, piece activity is usually better than material. Piece activity is usually better. I guess I didn't see this move, which I'm very happy with. Knight defends the pawn, so nice try, buddy. That's a no-no. Now I get to attack the bishop again, or Yeah, I just get to attack their bishop again. If they go here, it's trapped. If they go here, then... so first I go here with the bishop. That's a nice move. Because then after I go here, I'll be threatening to take it. Maybe they can defend with the pawn. Okay, yeah, they go there. I think this is obviously the good move, right? If I go here, it's just open king, which technically in the end game, after the pieces are traded off though, kind of worried about these rooks attacking my king, right? But you kind of want to have your king activated in the end game to help push your pawns forward. So this might be a long-term weakness, like, but I don't know. I've got these pawns I can push, so we'll see how it turns out. I only got 3:45 on my clock. Didn't need 5 minutes and 14 seconds to think about that one move, but whatever. We calculated. We played some chess. Oh, let's go. They resigned. Hell yeah. Because I'm threatening the bishop and I'm going to win that pawn. It's very odd, though. I'm not sure why they resigned, because I'm not, like, completely winning here, right? Other than my piece activity. So weird. I'm going to do the game review, but, like, say they go here. I go here, they can push a pawn forward to defend their bishop, so after bishop takes and pawn takes, then I go with the rook here, attacking the king on this open file, because now this pawn is going to be gone. That's awesome. I don't even think that far ahead, but I guess my opponent did. That's why they resigned. Got a nice attack. Very vulnerable king there. Plus, this rook's already activated. Threatening to take this pawn. This bishop can now be activated after I push this pawn forward to attack the bishop. That was an amazing win. Let's do game review for a few minutes and see what big things we missed. Now, generally you're supposed to, when you analyze your games, first you're supposed to analyze it yourself without the engine, and then use the engine, secondly, and then third, make a plan of how you're going to fix the weaknesses you identify in your games. I'll try to make a video on that within the next week or two. But for now, let us use Stockfish and see anything, see if there's anything unique. Okay. Oh wait, I already used my game review today? No way, dude. That's insane. We can look at the engine evaluation, see if it changes at all a lot. Interesting. Wait, best move is knight c3 here. It says bishop d2 is acceptable for near drawn position, I guess, maybe. That was actually a bad move. I had queen b3, yep. See, afterward I figured out that's actually a good move. It's better than here, because it doesn't force me to immediately take the knight and lose castling rights, because I'll just castle and I'll take the knight with my rook. And then the queen here defends the square, so the knight can't escape. And it can't escape here as a pawn. So it's just semi-high level chess, like some quality intermediate level chess, I think we've got going on here. Knight c6 is best. They played bishop captures. What? Oh, it's develop another piece. Yeah, and obviously this is not good, because it just helps me develop my knight. We knew that. But it says bishop captures d2 check is the second best move for black, so who knows. Is there a better move? Queen b3 again. That's interesting. Your top principle is not to move a piece once in the opening, but I guess I should have moved here. Yeah, definitely should have moved there, because then I could have done my same idea. I was just really trying to get ahead in development. Again, queen. Okay, I finally played it. There you go. So, knight captures f1 is somehow the best move, because then I guess I can't castle, and I don't know, it just forces my rook out on a different square, and prevents me from having the option to castle that direction, even though I was already planning on this, but maybe that's bad, it says. Okay, g4 is the second best move. I'm happy with that. e4 is the best. I always miss moves like that. Like pushing, I don't know why. Pushing a pawn, developing it in the center. And that also develops my bishop. So next time, I'm definitely going to have to try to find moves like this. This multi-purpose move. h4, best move. Then castling immediately, best move. Let's go. Knight captures at f3, apparently the best, some reason. They did. And as did I. Best move again. Knight d7 is best. Which doesn't make sense from a human perspective, because then you're blocking your bishop, right? The bishop cannot move after the knight goes there. But engine says depth 23, slightly better to move your knight on d7. Second best is bishop captures g4 for the pawn, which is basically the same material evaluation. Like, you have to do some high-level analysis relatively to see why knight d7 might be better. Or queen e8, that's another goofy move. That's just insane. Come on, no, queen e7 it says. Maybe, yeah, that makes more sense. You're making a battery. Think about long term, but okay. Rook g1. Rook g1. Again, I'm attacking this pawn here, attacking the king, I guess. Oh, now it's changing its mind. Knight g5. That's what I played. Let's go. Best move again. Probably had some high accuracy here. I might have to use game review tomorrow, see how good I did. Queen captures b7 is the other option, which I didn't see until later in the game. But I didn't see that in this position. Which I think I'm glad I didn't do that, because the position turned out okay. So this is not a good move at all. I lose, what, like 0.6 material? 0.6 on the eval bar, so it's not terrible. It's just, I guess, an inaccuracy. Oh, here's the big inaccuracy. Maybe even a mistake. This pawn move. They also messed up, though, right? It says 97. No, queen f6 is the third best move. Yeah, this is not even a. So I think it gives me like a 0.6 material back. Queen z3, queen d5, knight g5. So I played the third best move here. They played the best move. I played the best move. Let's go. So 5 minutes is all it takes to find the best move in a critical position. Let's go. As I'm immediately threatening this checkmate, and I guess correctly evaluated that queen takes and king takes is the best outcome. So let's go. Somehow I'm still down 1.6, but you know, only if you're a computer. I was able to beat my opponent from here. I still have the advantage. This is a mistake. Yeah, they lose 0.8 material on the evaluation bar. It goes from 2 to 1.2. So almost equivalent of me having an extra pawn. But then it would just be equal material. They're already up at pawn, but whatever. So yeah, mistake there. They just resigned, even though they're up 1.6. Why are they up 1.6? We don't have the time to understand why black is winning here. It says bishop g6. That's what I was expecting. Yep. Bishop e6. Is that not losing material? That's insane. Yeah, that gives up 2 points of material. That's a blunder. It goes from 1.5 to 0, pretty much. So that's basically the equivalent. Because they're already up 1. If they're down 3, bishop is 3, then that means they'll be down 2 points material. But if you want to be more accurate, it's actually 1.73 based on the positional factors too. So yeah, that's why they resigned. I guess. Wait, let's see what happens. Bishop g6. I was gonna go here and then here, but apparently, oh, that's the best move. Let's go. I was right again. Bishop b2 is best. Bishop e2. Wait. Yeah, okay. Rook c to e8, attacking the pawn. Okay. Or f6, finally attacking the knight. Or h6, again attacking the knight. So I guess they missed that. They could just attack my knight instead of allowing their bishop to be captured. So what I calculated was, I don't know, here, bishop captures f5, it says the best move. That's why rook c8 is best, because after pawn takes, rook takes bishop. Let's assume they didn't find that. Let's check this line out. Pawn here. Then, okay, then again, they would have just had to attack the knight. But I was looking at here. Oh, wait. I don't know why I was thinking you could move the pawn, have the bishop here, and move the pawn into a defend, because you can't do that. That was so weird my opponent resigned. That was a mistake on their part, but I like to think I would have won still, given it's good. The rest of the game was good, so. But noting that I had only had 3:45 on the clock, half the time as them, they probably should have kept on playing, even though we get 10-second increment. I'm playing 15 plus 10. One more time to calculate, and I'm preparing for a tournament in 2 weeks. So, there we go. Hopefully that was very instructional. Consider subscribing to make this a consistent habit of following my educational content here. So yeah, thanks for watching.